Hi there, Fairford class. It will be lovely to come and meet you when Year 4 are back in school next week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Until then, or if you don't come back to school, I thought it might be nice to get to know you in a different way. Obviously, I can't spend the afternoon or the morning with you like we normally do to meet your new teacher. But I thought that I would try and read you a story so you get to know me a bit more and get to know some of the things that we might be doing in Year 4. So the book I have chosen today is from The World's Worst Children 3, which is a book that currently one of my Year 4s has let me borrow, and I've been doing a few videos on YouTube over the last few weeks if you've seen any, but I thought I'd read you a different one today, just for you guys, just so you get to know me. So I'm going to read Tandy's Tantrums to you today, and you can see the picture of her there, and it says that she has bawling eyes out, screaming her head off and stamping her feet. So that's what she does. Okay, Tandy's Tantrums. Tantrums are something toddlers have. When they don't get their own way, they scream and cry. It is a stage children grow out of. Not Tandy. This little girl had tantrums all day, every day. It had been like that ever since she was a baby. Back then, anything could set a tantrum off. Having her dummy taken away, going over a bump in her pram, not having enough milk to guzzle. Sometimes baby Tandy would have a tantrum just because it had been a while since she had a tantrum. As a toddler, Tandy would scream and cry louder than entire football stadiums full of children. It was so loud, in fact, that when she screamed and cried, grown-ups always gave in to her. And every time a grown-up gave in to her, Tandy realised that tantrums worked. So you can see her there, and this bottom picture over here, always being given into by adults. At the time our story begins, Tandy was 11 years old and having hundreds of tantrums every day. They were so unbearable that whatever Tandy wanted, Tandy got. "What's for pudding?" the girl would demand every night after dinner. Mother and father would look at each other concerned. They knew what was coming. "Well, my angel sent from heaven, I thought as you had ice cream last night," began Mother, "and the night before that, and the night before that, and the night before that. In fact, every night in living memory," interrupted Father, "that tonight it might be a good idea to have some," Mother winced as she said it, "fruit." The little girl stared at them. "Fruit?" Her eyes flickered with fury. "Fruit?" First, her bottom lip began to quiver. Then her top. "Fruit?" Then her face began to turn an angry red beetroot colour. "Fruit?" And then her hair began to stand on end. "Fruit?" So you can see her getting angrier and angrier, I'm guessing about to have a tantrum. When she took a deep breath and let out a scream. "Ah!" So terrible that people's spectacles cracked, melons exploded, birds fell out of the trees stone dead, plates threw off the shelves and smashed onto the ground, buses skidded off the road, garden sheds collapsed, earwax melted and splurged out of people's ears, cats' fur fell out, books caught fire, cathedrals crumbled. "No!" her parents screamed as they plugged their ears with their fingers in a desperate attempt to block out the noise. "Mwah! I hate fruit!" Tandy wailed. "Please, darling, please," pleaded Mother, shouting over the din. But there was no stopping the girl. "Wah!" So you can see all of the things that happened when Tandy started to yell. Oh dear. "Just one little piece of fruit, my speck of stardust. Please just try, you might like it," implored Father. He handed her a grape from a bowl. There was a calm for a moment as Tandy's tantrum stopped and she placed the grape in her mouth. Mother and father shared a tentative smile. It was to be in vain, though. The girl spat the grain back out at her father. Puh! It hit him square on the nose. Ouch! He cried. I hate grapes! Well, if you don't like grapes, how about a banana, my ray of sunshine? Said Mother, hastily peeling one. She handed the fruit to her daughter, and once again she put it in her mouth before firing it straight back at her mother. Puh! It hit her bang in the eye. Ow! Shrieked Mother. Tandy was quite the spitter. This week alone she'd spat back a pear, some pineapple chunks, a strawberry, and a kumquat. Father hated the waste, so put it all in the compost heap at the end of the garden. I hate bananas! The house began shaking at the noise of Tandy's tantrum. It was as if there was an earthquake hitting. The cutlery on the table started rattling. The lemonade in the glasses began bubbling and frothing. Ketchup started splurting out of the bottle and repainted the ceiling red. Oh dear. Really doesn't like fruit. Pictures fell off the wall and smashed on the floor. The goldfish leaped out of its bowl and landed on the carpet. It flapped around there for a few moments before Father picked it up and put it back in its bowl, where it then buried itself under some gravel. Soon, snot was flying out of the girl's nose like water from a hose. Mother and Father were soaked. Please, use a tissue, begged Mother. I hate tissues. Well, then you can use your napkin, my golden girl sent from above, implored Father. I hate napkins. I would so rather drench you both in snot. Now give me my ice cream, now. Reluctantly, Mother and Father scurried off to the kitchen to do the little girl's bidding. Not taking any chances, the pair of them returned as fast as they could with a huge bowl of ice cream. Forgive us for the delay, O rainbow child, said Mother. Concerned about what flavour their darling daughter might want, they gave her a dollop of every one they had. Vanilla, chocolate, mint choc chip, caramel, fudge, double fudge, and cookie dough surprise. Here you go, gorgeous, announced Mother. Your ice cream. Mwah! What now, my furry kitten? Demanded Father. I want a flake, and chocolate sauce, and another flake. Father scurried back into the kitchen as Mother placed the ice cream down in front of her daughter. There you go, oh cherub of the skies. The flakes and chocolate sauce won't be a mo. So you can see they're giving in turn. Look at the size of that ice cream with all of those different flavours. You can see some even waffles in the top of it, or some wafers. The woman spoon-fed her daughter a huge mouthful. That might shut you up for a while, said Mother, forgetting herself for a moment. Oh, songbird of love. Mwah! The girl wailed as she spat the ice cream across the table, covering her mother's face with it. Oh, what's wrong, my angel delight? I hate ice cream without flakes or chocolate sauce. Mwah! Here it comes, my sweet nectar, called out Father as he rushed back into the room. The man stuck the flakes into the daughter's ice cream and then squirted chocolate sauce all over it. Say when, Honey Blossom, he prompted. The entire bottle of sauce was emptied all over the ice cream until there was only chocolatey air coming out. When, said Tandy. Super duper, my floppy-eared bunny, said Father. Tandy shoveled some ice cream into her mouth. We got there, she mumbled. Mother and Father shared a sigh of relief. So you can see the ice cream again there with the whole contents of a bottle of chocolate sauce tipped on it. That's a sugar rush. The next morning, on his way to work, Father passed some men digging a hole in the road. They were using a huge mechanical drill, which made an awful racket, though not as awful as his daughter's tantrums. He noticed that the road workers were using noise-cancelling headphones, and he had a bright idea. That afternoon, he returned from his day at the office with a present for his wife. There you are, my darling wife. What's this, husband? She asked excitedly. The lady unwrapped the package to find 2 pairs of headphones. His and hers, replied father. What a splendiferous idea, said mother. Where is our dearest darling daughter? She's upstairs in her bedroom watching cartoons. She has lots of homework to do, but... Let me guess, she threw one of her little temper tantrumettes, he asked. How did you guess, my perfect husband? Well, let's see how we get on with these tonight, said father, putting on his headphones. Yes, let's, replied mother. What did you say? Asked father. Sorry, I can't hear a word, replied mother. The pair sat down in the living room and read, delighted to be enjoying some peace and quiet for once. Father read some poetry, while mother read a travel book. Her dream was to travel far away, somewhere where she couldn't hear her daughter scream. What they didn't hear, with their headphones on, was her daughter bawling for her dinner from upstairs. Mwah! Food! So you can see the pair of headphones there on the right. And you can see them just reading happily on the sofa. That is until Tandy's going to have another tantrum. Eventually, Tandy had no choice but to stomp all the way downstairs and confront them. Wah! I want my dinner now! The 2 grown-ups held their nerve and carried on reading. Wah! I hate you so much! If you ask nicely my roll of extra soft toilet tissue, then we'll take these off, said father, indicating his headphones. Wah! I hate asking nicely! I am sorry, my cream cake princess, began mother. We can't hear you. I'm starving! And with that, Tandy plucked the goldfish out of its bowl by its tail and dropped it in her mouth. No! Yelled father. Spit it out, my darling diamond, shouted mother. With a grin, the girl spat the goldfish back into its bowl. Wah! I want my dinner! Quieter, please, my dollop of blancmange, prompted father, lifting up one headphone to hear. Wah! I want my dinner! Now try it without the wah bit, said Dad. I want my dinner! What's the magic word, my sweetest pea? Asked Mother. Abracadabra, replied Tandy. No, as you well know, it's please. Please, mumbled the girl. Now, pop that word into a sentence, Miss Candyfloss. I want my dinner. Tandy hesitated. This was hard. Please. See, we got there in the end, said Father. Humped Tandy. So you can see there at the bottom, she's not used to being told to say please. And she's used to just getting her own way. However, little did the grown-ups know that their daughter was hatching a devilish plan. If Mother and Father were going to continue wearing headphones, and by the smug look on their faces it was clear that they were not going to give them up anytime soon, Tandy's tantrums had just got to be louder. Much louder. The girl lived not too far from a huge stadium that was home to football matches and rock concerts. One Saturday afternoon, she crept out of the house and cycled there. A huge poster outside the stadium advertised that night's entertainment. It was a rock band from the 1960s called the Rollicking Fossils, and they were playing their 15th and final farewell tour. Parked outside the stadium was a fleet of huge lorries. Tandy ducked and dived around them and saw that one contained a huge speaker the size of a small bungalow. This was designed to deliver a deafening noise to 150,000 people, and was sure to do the trick. There was no way those noise-cancelling headphones would cancel out this beast. Oh dear. I have a feeling I know what she's thinking. So, while no one was looking, she loaded her bike into the back of the lorry and climbed up onto the cab. Next, Despite never having a driving lesson, she drove the lorry all the way back to her house, demolishing hundreds of vehicles as they swerved around the road. Bang, crash, wallop. Eventually, she smashed the lorry into her next-door neighbour's house and pushed the speaker down the ramps and into her front garden. Then she connected a microphone up to the speaker and stood in front of it. With the microphone in hand, she launched into a tantrum the likes of which had never been heard before. Wah! And you can just imagine the deafening sound through that speaker. The speaker was meant to amplify the sound of an electric guitar. An electric guitar was much quieter than one of Tandy's tantrums. Now, if I just show you here, there is a really big scale of all the sounds. So I'm just going to read out the scale for you. So at the bottom is a flea's fart, which is the quietest. Then a leaf blowing in the breeze. An elephant trunk trumpeting. Then an electric guitar. Then a seal barking. Then the Prime Minister's questions at the House of Commons. Then thunder. Then an old lady at bingo hall shouting bingo. Then a hippopotamus blowing off. Then a volcano exploding. And then one of Tandy's tantrums, and that was the loudest. The noise from the speaker made Tandy's tantrum so unbelievably loud that it created a gigantic sound wave that propelled Tandy forward at speed. The girl smashed through the living room window and flew past her parents, who were quietly reading. Ah! Tandy screamed, but they didn't hear her. They didn't hear her smash through the window at the back of the house either. You can see the scale there again with Tandy at the end. But it's caused such big sound waves that it smashed her through walls and all the way through the house, and the parents didn't even hear. However, Mother did notice the sudden draft and looked up from her book. The lady was horrified to see her daughter's legs sticking out of the compost heap at the back of the garden. She yanked off her headphones and grabbed her husband. "Look, love of my life!" The pair dashed outside and pulled their daughter out of the compost. She had bits of waste all over her face. The banana she'd spat back at her mother was now tangled in her hair. "Mwah!" she cried for a moment before stopping herself. "What on earth has happened, Pony Princess?" asked Father. "I had a tantrum that went badly wrong, so I'm having a tantrum about that. Mwah!" "You're having a tantrum about a tantrum, honey monster," said Mother. "Yes." Mother and Father looked at each other and sighed. "Shall we move to Australia?" he asked. "We've always talked about it, oh husband of joy." Right now, wife of my heart. No time like the present, raindrop of love." Father took Mother's hand and they walked back through the house. "Goodbye, sweet angel sent from above to ruin our lives," they called to their daughter. "Mwah!" cried Tandy. And they never saw their daughter again, though sometimes, while lying in bed at night in Australia, they swore they could hear Tandy on the other side of the world having one of her titanic tantrums. But unfortunately for Tandy, there was no one there to run to her. There was no one there. But unfortunately for Tandy, there was no one there to run to her. And you can see the final picture there, where Tandy is on one side of the world and her parents are sleeping soundly over in Australia. So yes, that there was one of the favourite books. It looked like that at the beginning, just with the cover off. That is one of the favourite books that my Year 4s have asked me to read in our Eric time this year. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I enjoyed reading it to you, even if I had to yell "wah" quite a lot at the camera. But you can just imagine me doing that in real life, and I do look forward to meeting you all soon and seeing you in September, where we can kick off your Year 4 journey. If you do have any questions, I'll be in with the Year 4s next week, and that will be the last week that you're in before you have your summer holidays, and hopefully I'll be able to pop in and see you. Take care for now though, and stay safe. Bye.